Fetishist women of Reddit. What fetish is really hard to find in men? Over a drunken drinking game, I found out one of the girls that lived above us in student accommodation had a thing for guys coming too quick and getting embarrassed. The issue was, without fail, every guy she had told about it will inevitably just try and come really quick, which wasn't the same thing. I don't know why, but I found the entire thing hilarious. Is this her? I read and saved this exchange from somewhere. I'm a woman, and I'm extremely turned on by premature ejaculation, especially if the guy seems really embarrassed or apologetic. Well, hello, I'm here at your service. After banging away for half an hour, I'm so embarrassed. This has never happened to me before. Seems like she just needs to find a guy who peaks quickly and is a good actor. Luckily, I've mastered the art of the dramatic. I like being called good girl, but not if it's a daddy thing. Just being called that can send me over the edge, especially when it's whispered in my ear. My girl is into that, and then one time I told her I was proud of her, and she came immediately. I mean, it feels great when he whispers it, but if he is looking into my eyes and he says it, FCCCCCCK, I'm gonna try that. LOL. I dated a girl years back who wondered why more straight men won't let her duck them in the ass with a strap on. I would put that up there. Just not, you know, up there. I don't know what mine is called. I just like getting people off. I don't even have to get off, but knowing that something I did made you so worked up that you had to come. I'll play into anyone's fetish, as long as they get off or get insane pleasure from it. This seems the nicest one here. It seems LOL. Everyone wants to be beat or humiliated, which is cool, but I guess it's kind of a nurturing thing. I want people to feel accepting of themselves and have the opportunity to just be them in their fetish and dream world. It's refreshing to me, to be honest. I love it. Well, honestly, I think it's probably the best and nicest. But what if their fetish was for you to be a cruel sadist who got sexual thrills from them suffering? Presumably that would be impossible. I don't know if this truly counts as a fetish, but I love when men are noisy, loud and frequent moaning, groaning, gasping. I love the sound of them losing control, essentially, and really enjoying themselves. But every guy I've had sex with barely makes any sound besides heavy breathing, and it's so frustrating. For me, it's not so much the noise itself, but what the noise means. He's so into it, and it feels so good that he cannot control his vocalizations or hands, or whatever. As a female, I had to work on this too, and give myself permission to be vocal when it felt right, not forcing it or holding it back. I love him being vocal too, but feel bad cause I'm not at all, and I know he wants that. Asked me to talk to him last time and I choked. Didn't know what to say and started laughing, fearing my own "you like that, you ducking retard" moment. Please duck, I'm moan in my ear. I am tired of the stigma that women like quiet guys. Please moan. One day I was having phone sex with my GF. We were long distance and so couldn't have sex, and I thought in my head, hey, if I moan, maybe she would like that. So I tried that and she really liked it. I did it with my next GF and she loved it so much that just me moaning would turn her on, even if we weren't having sex. Because of this I learned that girls like guys who moan, so I try to make it a habit to moan during phone sex. When I can actually hear him, and I mean really hear him, it's almost all I need. Then he hears me and we are finishing together almost every time. Hearing her come will push me over the edge nearly instantly. I love when men come inside of me without protection. This is, obviously, an issue. I want a man to act like he kidnapped me and I'm his prisoner, and he's like in between acting nice and acting like a psychopath. Rape fantasy, or just I have become a horny slut all of a sudden and I will obey this man. Nah, escaping realism just ruins it for me. Please tell me this is not a relevant username. I think you need to ask your dad about that. I like risky sex in terms of pregnancy. I would never turn a fetish into a lifelong commitment, so I will personally take precautions. But the fantasy of I'm going to come in you and knock you up, and he's telling me so while he's about to come, when he thinks it's a genuine possibility, is insanely hot to me. But No one I've ever been with has been able to be comfortable with it. Totally understand why it gives me all the power while he loses it after he finishes. So I wouldn't push it on a soul. But it is the only thing that reliably gets me off. Many people are into impregnation fetishes. You just gotta take the right precaution and have a lower D's of trust. The guy is still the one dropping the load of trust into you though. I thought being punched in the face would be hot until I got punched in the face. I'll admit it, I have a consensual non-consent fetish, and I guess it's hard to bring up and find guys who are willing to do that stuff. Lots of guys are into being dominant and rough, which is usually what I'll settle for, but the only two I've brought up the rape fantasy thing with have been too uncomfortable with it and refused. One actually said I should get therapy for liking that stuff, and I'm afraid of specifically seeking out guys that are also into CNC, because I feel like the fetish attracts some ducked up characters. Bad people. Not all of course, but it's daunting. In my opinion, the most important part of doing a scene like that is trust. And of course, consent. Most people who are into rape play like it because it gives them an adrenaline rush and it allows them to carry out such fantasies in a safe and controlled environment. There will be places, forums, possibly even a subreddit where you can talk about rape play and meet other people who are into what you are into. Bad eggs are always present in every type of kink there is, and if you're in the right place, avoiding them should be relatively easy. There is a subreddit for it actually, but they're not the most open-minded people. I have the same fantasy and so joined the sub, but was actually banned a few months later because I commented on someone's post about them essentially cheating because she flirted with guys at the gym, obviously leading to more promiscuous events. Did this multiple times and never told her boyfriend about any of it. The mod who banned me also does the same thing, never telling her partner about her sexual encounters. Personal beef with that. Subreddit, I suppose. Best bet for this kind of kink is to establish a connection and trust with someone before engaging in something risky like a CNC scenario, rather than finding some random person from the internet who says they enjoy rape play. Pornophilia from the top. Lots of guys want to be human furniture, but it's hard to find one who wants to use a woman as furniture. But you can pretty much extrapolate that to any fetish that doesn't involve actual ducking. Non-sub guys may be willing to play at a little BDSM before the ducking, but what they really want is to duck, and it shows. Hold up. So, just as an example to make sure I grasp this, a guy could watch TV with a naked footstool, then scoot you closer as a table to eat a bowl of mac and cheese, and you'd be down for that. Or heck yeah, though I prefer to be a drinks table. I like being slapped in the face. Most guys don't want to hit girls, which is good, but also lame. I dated a girl who liked that as well. It took a while for me to build up to slapping her hard enough where she liked it, but I couldn't never really get over it. We could get a little rough during foreplay, but if we were having sex, slapping her would instantly make me go soft. For a long time I have had a serious fetish for having my feet pampered, like having someone rub them, paint my toes, kiss my feet, or let me give them a foot job. Honestly, the foot job is usually a reward for pampering me, but I genuinely enjoy it too. But all too often I get guys who say it's just not their thing. I get it, sure, but guys with foot fetishes seem so popular. I usually wear open-toed shoes or go barefoot whenever I can, just to see if I can catch someone looking. It seems like I'm surrounded by foot fetishists until I actually go on a date with a guy. Then suddenly no one cares. I love to pamper feet. It's a very overlooked sensory experience. I don't really have a fetish for it though. Just think my partner deserves that kind of TLC. Yes. Thank you. That's honestly the best. I mean, I wouldn't pass up a guy who had a serious foot fetish either. But the best is a guy who just enjoys doing it and receiving his reward. That tells me he enjoys me, pampering me, and knows my feet are a good way to do that. Not that he just loves feet, you know. I like role reversal play, or gentle femdom. I don't know how to title it. I like making the guy the object of desire during sex, and riding him and tying his hands up and telling him to lie still whilst I do the ducking, and then spoiling him with compliments about how beautiful and good he is, and about how he belongs to me and is entirely mine. I'm a bit of a switch when it comes to this, though. At the other hand, whilst it's not a fetish men usually have, I really haven't met a single guy who wasn't totally into it after they got over the initial hug. Wouldn't that be embarrassing weird? I was gonna say, what about that wouldn't be great? I'm a dude and I'd find that great fun because I consider myself to be a light switch where I'm primarily dominant but wouldn't mind being the sub every so often, and that would be very enjoyable. I've struggled to find men who will let me do anything anal on them. Even oral weirds most of them out. Edit, I should clarify anal, oral, and no poop. Dudes won't let you give them a rim job. That's their loss. For real. I had one ex who was really into it once he let me try it with him. But that's been it. The rest have acted like I asked them to let me first them with Boza's shell. RIP your inbox, I'm sure. I think it's called Kakuyan. Really wanna watch my husband FCK another girl while I'm restrained doing the dirty work and they taunt me. He is not really into other women and most women aren't into being watched. I've pretty much successfully explored all my other fetishes. And phew, there's a lot. Well, I haven't done a lot of roleplay with power disparities. Now that I think of it. Is it just watching him duck someone else? Or are you into other forms of humiliation? Yes. I mean, guys who like being submissive. Most of them won't admit it. I'm dominant and sadist towards man in sex. Most of them want to be dominant too. Also food fetish. Definitely not common. Is there wiggle room on the sadist part? I'm a submissive guy, just not safe word level submissive. I'm not interested in pain or BDSM stuff, but it seems like most of the dom women I meet are. I just like it when the woman takes control of the bedroom rather than having to be the one running things. Gangbang insemination. But not rough. Not sure if it counts as a fetish, but this is my fantasy. A lovely gangbang insemination where everyone just wants me to be happy and pregnant and two men suck my breasts while I lick another man's balls and someone holds my legs open to accept another's semen. I want to be a walking fertility goddess. A dominant man who isn't just an abusive a-hole using BDSM as an excuse. Former nice guy who was too wimpy with sex here. Had to be taught. I was always worried about being too rough and generally wasn't brave enough to really take control out of fear I would hurt my partner. Had lots of wishy-washy sex with lots of partners. None of them seemed to enjoy it much, but never said anything to me about it. Sex was bleh. I eventually ended up with a woman who made it very clear that she would stop me if she needed to, and that everything up to that point was exactly what she wanted. Once I realized that I could trust my partner to make it obvious where the line was, the confidence boost that came with that woke up an animal in me. She wants to be gripped so hard she bruises. Cool. Choked till she can't make noise. Can do. Verbally abused with legitimately rough intercourse. I got you, fam. The key for me was a very direct style of communication from her that said I had to trust her to cut me off, so to speak. Once that clicked, being dominant because my partner wanted me to and not for myself became super straightforward. I enjoy dominating men, but unfortunately every guy I ever dated liked to dominate as well. Most women I've been with prefer to be dominated, so I've learned to be dominant, but at heart I'm a total submissive. I absolutely melt over a powerful woman. A woman who speaks with conviction, moves with purpose, and can level me with her eyes. I will do what she tells me, when she tells me to do it, how she tells me to do it, and I'll only speak to thank her. I have been with exactly one woman like that in my lifetime, and I was very young. She was significantly older than me, too. For most of my adult life I've been chasing that dragon, but I've yet to find a woman who can rise to the occasion. Most of the women I've been with are absolutely submissive. The women I've been with who claim to be dominant usually chicken out last minute due to inexperience or shyness and pass the ball back to me. I think it's my stature. I'm about 6 feet 3, 200 pounds, dark hair, dark beard, and I tend to wear a leather jacket. I do not give the appearance at all of a submissive man. Oh, the bigger the guy the better, laughing. It is hard to physically restrain as I'm petite. So it needs to be psychological. Someday this will work out. I'm B. Dominating other girls is very easy. I can give in to being dominated, but as a Disney princess looking outside a windows I sing. I have a dream. Someday I'll find him. The very mean-faced man. Yes, little birds. He looks mean. But in bed, he will scream. He will gag little birds. With my red ball up on his mouth. Hands tied back. He is powerless. Okay, that's a bad song. But you catch the spirit. It's hard to find a guy who wants, like, rough sex where he is dominant, but where it's not like whips and chains level. Guys are either way too kinky for me, or way too vanilla. I feel like I can never find an in-between. Edit. Not sure why so many people are trying to argue and tell me I'm wrong. I answered the question based on my own experience. The majority of men I've dated fall into two types. Type 1 kink level 100. They want to be master slave 24/7. They want to piss down your throat and watch you duck a dog. Type 2 kink level ZZZZZZZZZZ. Don't want to hurt me. Tell me I'm too loud. Grossed out when I spit on their dick. Always want to do it in the bed. I request slapping, and they lightly pat my ass. Once, I request talking, and they say one sentence during sex. LOL. I'm not bad at communicating my desires. It has been truly difficult to find someone on my level. And I'm too old and set in my ways to want to explore or go beyond my current level. I know my boundaries. Also, I seek to be dominated. It takes all the pleasure out of it if I have to tell the guy to dominate me. But I'm pretty good at letting the guy know what he can safely do to me. Another level of this, as some have mentioned, is just guys being terrified of being accused of rape. And I don't blame them. I always suggest a safe word.